AEW, are they war ready? Let's talk about it.
This is the Wrestling Old Head. You have entered the portal of pro wrestling.
What the world is watching.
What's up, you guys? So we're here to talk about AEW and the WWE's consistent kind of like war that they've got going on. And I understand that some may feel like it's not an actual war. They may bring up statistics like the WWE is crushing AEW in these numbers, or AEW has more wrestling than WWE. All of these things may prove points as far as where the lines are drawn in the competition between AEW and WWE. But what I'm really here to talk about is the fact that the WWE is absolutely 100% trying to hurt AEW. Now, whether you want to believe that or not, it's completely fine. I get it. I understand, especially if you're a WWE fan. It's like, come on, man, all of this is coincidental. But let's look at the facts. When I look at AEW 2 or 3 years ago, they had a working deal with AAA, and TNA. They started Forbidden Door with the idea of having working relationships with other promotions. They were involved with Stardom, with New Japan Pro Wrestling, with AAA, and with TNA. And they started that relationship and then built Forbidden Door. Cut to current day WWE now has a working relationship with TNA and has acquired AAA. They own AAA. And I'm seeing a ton of parallels. Now, one thing that I will give WWE credit for is seemingly, at least at the start right now, this relationship seems to be a better back and forth than it was with AEW. A lot of what was going on with AEW and TNA at the time, for instance, it really felt like it was kind of a one-way street. Kenny Omega, Tony Khan, Tony Schiavone even, I believe the Good Brothers, and maybe the Young Bucks, but I'm not really sure. I know they all kind of had some cameo appearances in a few matches on TNA television. But when Kenny Omega won the TNA World Heavyweight Championship, it just didn't seem like things were kind of like even. It really seemed like TNA was helping AEW more than AEW was helping TNA, at least with this relationship that we're watching with the NXT and TNA specifically. It does feel like there is some sort of reciprocation going on here. There seems to be like people are benefiting from both sides, is my point. It really feels like the WWE has acquired TNA, even though they haven't and everything, but there definitely seems to be a relationship that's bigger than just a working agreement. It really seems like they're under one umbrella. Now, whether that happens later on where WWE actually acquires TNA, that's for another video. Basically, what I'm saying right now is that the WWE took something that AEW started and decided to capitalize on it and do it a little bit better. They do the same with their talent. They took Ethan Page. They took Ricky Starks, now Ricky Saints. They took Ray Phoenix, Penta. They took these talents, and it seems to be like they're capitalizing on the marginalized success they got in AEW and making them bigger than they were before they walked into the NXT/WWE. So that right there, from a competition's perspective, that to me is war, because what you're trying to do is you're grabbing the resources that AEW didn't know that they had, or resources that they currently have that could have been huge, i.e. Mariah May, Stephanie Vaquer. Those were huge talent acquisitions from the WWE, because I believe those two women could have ran the AEW women's division for a long time to come. Now, I don't even want to go back further and talk about the acquisitions of Cody Rhodes and CM Punk, which really hurt the AEW's bottom line, in my opinion, when the WWE took those two talents. More specifically, Cody Rhodes, because I believe that that was the domino effect that allowed for Ricky Saints, Jade Cargill, and several other talents that were fans and friends with Cody Rhodes, like Shawn Spears, to eventually come over to the WWE. So that was the start, I believe, of everything that we're seeing right now as far as WWE taking the talent from AEW. That's talent that was really upset at Cody Rhodes leaving, and of course there are some as well that were upset that CM Punk left and even how he left. But that's not what this video is about. What this video is about is talking about being war ready. And is AEW war ready? Because whether we want to believe it or not, definitely Tony Khan feels like it's a war. And there was a video at a press conference where he was talking about the head-to-head competition that the WWE seems to be gearing up for. I mean, for Forbidden Door, for AEW, WWE has circled the venue for Forbidden Door by putting on shows in the United Kingdom around that time. Furthermore, for AEW's All In Texas on Saturday, July the 12th, there's NXT Great American Bash that will run the same time as All In, and Saturday night's main event, which will air later in that evening. And then WWE's Evolution 2 will air the next day. Coincidence? I don't think so. And if you want to go further than that, the AEW is going to have a residency at the 2300 building in rustic South Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, which is the former home of ECW. And the WWE just announced that they're going to be running the 2300 arena at the formerly ECW arena a week prior, and they just announced that. Now, say what you will, that is definitive proof that the WWE is making a choice to go head-to-head with the AEW, very, very similar to what the WWF did back in the 80s by going after certain territories. It's just, and look, whether you want to believe it or not, it's a fact. If you're looking at this, it's gone way beyond a coincidence or anything. This is getting closer and closer to run the same venue the night before the opposition and try to kill the town tactic that the WWF used in the 80s. And the question is AEW ready for that? Because I'm going to tell you right now that the WWE is not going to stop until AEW bends the knee. And I know that Tony Khan has the cachet to keep fighting. He has the money to keep going when the WWE starts doing these tactics, but it's gonna go beyond his ability to fight them with money. He's gonna have to fight them by going at their pockets, because I don't believe, as expensive as the WWE tickets have been over the last year and a half, 2 years, now that they've been running less house shows, they've been doing more events, and with these events, by not running as many house shows, they can justify increasing their ticket prices, similar to what the UFC did, since, of course, they're under the same TKO umbrella. They've justified the idea of running more expensive shows, and they've been crushing it. I mean, they've been selling out shows after shows after shows, but eventually, if the WWE continues to do things that stagnate creativity, that stop a lot of the excitement, that halt the momentum that has steadily been declining since Cody Rhodes finished his story. Now, they were on the upswing after Cody Rhodes won, but when John Cena started battling Cody Rhodes and the stuff that was going on with the final boss, Dwayne Johnson, and all of this stuff that was going on, it seemed like there was some stuff going on backstage. It seemed like the stuff in the ring wasn't making a whole lot of sense. There was a lack of continuity. That stuff that's going on right now, this lack of momentum, is going to hurt their attendance as well. And AEW can capitalize on that. They have an opportunity to take advantage of that. Not only to take advantage of the fact that creatively the WWE seems to be stagnant a bit and lacking excitement. They can take that, AEW, and capitalize on that. They can capitalize on the ticket prices. They can capitalize on the wrestling that's going on. They can capitalize even on storylines. It's only up to Tony Khan whether he wants to allow for more people to come into his boardroom his war room, and really allow those creative minds to shine and show Tony Khan what he needs to do as a prime time wrestling company to compete with the WWE, or at least to get them to back off a little bit, because they seem to be trying to bully AEW. And with AEW's continued push to get into bigger markets and to do bigger shows like the Texas Stadium, for instance, which is a huge thing for them to do. Now, I don't think they're going to get 50,000 people in there. I really don't. But they're definitely stacking the card for All In to allow for more people to show up. I mean, you've allegedly, reportedly, you're going to have Kenny Omega against Kazuchika Okada. I believe that's the first time in the United States you're going to see that match. I believe so. You're going to see Toni Storm and Mercedes Moné. Toni Storm had her last match in the WWE before she left against Mercedes Moné when she was Sasha Banks. I'm sure you're going to have some kind of a match, a tag match with FTR and the reuniting of Christian Cage and Edge, who is now going by Cope. You're going to have Jon Moxley defending against Hangman Adam Page for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. I expect in that match you to see the return of Darby Allin and possibly Sting involved in that as well, and maybe even Bryan Danielson. I believe Bryan Danielson may be involved in that as well. And you're also going to probably going to see Will Ospreay and Swerve, some sort of continuation between MJF and Bobby Lashley and the Hurt Syndicate, maybe even involving Dustin Rhodes and the Von Erichs. So you got a lot of potential there for that card. WWE, they're going to try to compete when AEW is doing its best. Right now, they're just trying to poke the bear. They're trying to see what Tony Khan is going to do to combat, for instance, the 2300 Arena. WWE putting on a show. They've got a lot of ECW alumni like Bully Ray, for instance, who's been working with the WWE as recently as the LFG show, which is their developmental show that they've been having recently. Bully Ray can show up with Devon and have a Dudley Boys reunion. I firmly believe Spike Dudley could even show up as well for a full reunion. I would look forward to that. Rob Van Dam can show up. They could have a tribute to Sabu. Paul Heyman can show up in his ECW hat. I mean, they can do so many things to pay homage to ECW. To counter that, AEW can always put on the show where they have Taz. There's maybe Tommy Dreamer can get involved. They can have Al Snow show up with the Head. I mean, they can do these things, but I think the real competition for AEW would be if they brought in Joey Styles, someone who left the WWE and pretty much left wrestling after a controversial situation happened when I think he was working with Evolve, maybe. I think he was doing commentary for Evolve, formerly Evolve, before they were bought out by the WWE. So we haven't seen Joey Styles in a long time. I think if they were to bring Joey Styles in, the voice of ECW, I think that would be great counter-programming to the 2300 Arena going against the WWE. These are little tactics. These are little things that AEW can do to actually defend themselves, because they are being pushed. They're being prodded. And I think that this is the time right now for AEW to really step up and really make a big swing for things. I was really shocked when I found out that Tony Khan had let Mariah May go. I couldn't believe that. There's a video coming up where I talk about that situation, and I was really shocked to find that out, because with someone like Mariah May, you really want to keep her. You don't want to send her to the WWE. That is young talent, and WWE is doing an amazing job at circling the talent infrastructure, the talent base where you can poach talent, where you can find new talent. The WWE is crossing all of those off the list so that AEW has no access, has zero access, or very minimal access to future talent. WWE has, I think, Marigold right now. They have All Japan and Noah. They have AAA. They have TNA. They have GCW, Game Changer Wrestling. They have, with their WWE ID program, they have more independent promotions. They have the LFG program, which is connected to their NIL, name, image, likeliness program, where they're grabbing talent from other athletics, other form of athletics, and bringing them in. The WWE is making sure that there is little to no way for AEW to find the diamonds in the rough. I mean, you look at international stars, independent stars, stars from different forms like track and field, basketball, football. AEW is not going to have first dibs. WWE now has first dibs, and because of that, AEW, which honestly AEW has not been good previously, has not been good at establishing homegrown talent, turning them into superstars. Hangman Adam Page came from Ring of Honor. Kenny Omega came from New Japan Pro Wrestling. The Young Bucks came from the Independents, Pro Wrestling Guerrilla. The only people that you can see that you can really say that are homegrown talents would be like a Daniel Garcia. And Daniel Garcia, to me, is a long way away from being a homegrown superstar. MJF is the one, because he came from Major League Wrestling, and I would not consider them, Robert Karpelis used to work from them, the guy from Rumor and Innuendo, but I would not consider Major League Wrestling a big promotion. So MJF, you can say for sure that they turned MJF into a superstar, and a lot of that came from MJF having the charisma and the ability, but AEW gave him the opening to really realize his character and really step into his own. So all the hats off to that. But out of MJF, other than MJF, I mean, Britt Baker has disappeared, Rio has disappeared, Nyla Rose has disappeared. Ricky Saints is no longer in AEW. I haven't seen Eddie Kingston in a long time, although Eddie Kingston has had histories with other promotions. There's not a whole lot of, like, Powerhouse Hobbs is probably the other option, but they really haven't realized Powerhouse Hobbs' talent to get him into a part where he's a superstar. The same with Hook. Hook has basically been the same character for 5 years. They really got to do something with Hook, Taz's son. Those are the things that they can do to really establish themselves as a company that knows how to develop, hone, and create the future stars of not only their company, but of the entire industry. You don't want to be left forever with leftovers from the WWE. And the WWE is going to have plenty of leftovers because they're acquiring so much talent right now that they're not going to know what to do with it. A lot of great talent is going to get cut from the WWE just simply because they don't have any room. And it doesn't matter how many deals they're having with other promotions, those other promotions will gobble up that talent and leave AEW out with very little, with crumbs. So AEW is got an opportunity. In my opinion, I'm a big fan of both promotions because I'm a big fan of professional wrestling, but AEW has a long way to go if they really want to start pushing this bear back and start fighting it, because WWE is poking and prodding and they're punking AEW right now. They are punking AEW, and Tony Khan needs to get out of the corner and start fighting back. And this is an opportunity with these three big events that are coming up, with Forbidden Door, with the residency at the 2300, and with All In Texas, to really push and poke and pry to get out of that corner and really get a fighting chance. So I think that right now, Tony Khan, given what he said at the press conference, and he said it's not going to happen, like how Jim Crockett Promotions was punked out and then they ended up getting acquired by Turner and turned into World Championship Wrestling. Tony Khan doesn't think that's going to happen to him. And I admire his tenacity, his adversity, his perseverance. But he's going to need to do a lot to stop the WWE, because right now the WWE has all of their cards on the table. And I think Tony Khan is left with 2 deuces and a joker. You know what I'm saying? So Tony Khan is going to have to do a lot. What that is it's only up to Tony Khan and his ability to let more people into the room and give them a creative opportunity to try something new, to try something that's going to hook audiences. Because with AEW, they do wrestling really, really well. They do too much wrestling, some would often say, but it is hitting a market where a lot of people are starved for professional wrestling and they don't feel like they get a lot out of it from the WWE, so they are hitting that market really, really well. The next thing they're going to have to do is, with their primetime programming, they're going to have to find storylines that hook people week to week. Give them a reason to tune in and want to tune in the next week or even the weekend and Saturday for their AEW Collision shows. Give them a reason to want to tune in. That is the second thing that they're going to have to do that is different from the WWE, because the WWE, they trust their audience is going to show up no matter what. They usually close their program, instead of a match, with a promo battle between 2 big-time superstars, and that's how they leave it. But with AEW, they have a wide open avenue to do cliffhangers. very similar to what WCW did with Monday Nitro back in the day. That is a wide open market. Nobody is utilizing that right now, and the WWE is not even thinking about utilizing something like that. AEW can do that, and they can do it really, really well with their primetime program Dynamite. So that's just some of the things that they can do to hopefully get AEW above the water a little bit, which right now they're already gaining momentum. They're already getting a following. People are still talking about their product. They're seemingly coming out of the mud because they were in a lull period for a while. And now with the resurgence of Swerve and Will Ospreay and Hangman Adam Page and this idea of the Death Riders finally going out on their sword or on their shield in battle. This is an opportunity for AEW to capitalize on that interest, that newfound interest that they're gaining. So we'll see if this is what we're going to get from AEW, is a fighting opportunity, or if they're just going to keep doing what they're doing and continue with the audience that they have and really not try and fight back. But if I know Tony Khan, based on some of the stuff that he's been saying, he really wants to fight. He's been wanting to fight for a long time, and this is the best opportunity for him to do so. And he's got a lot. It's like a 20v1. It's like, I mean, I'm telling you, AEW, they're going to have to fight a lot of competition within the WWE umbrella. It's not just WWE, it's NXT. It's Evolve, it's LFG, it's TNA, it's AAA, it's all of them. They're going to have to fight them all. And I really hope that Tony Khan finds a way creatively to really poke and prod and be the Leonardo DiCaprio to the bear in Revenant. But we'll see what happens. What do you guys think? Do you think that AEW is war ready? You guys let me know in the comments. Thumbs up on the way out if you like the video, you guys. And as always, thank you so much for coming out to the Portal of Pro Wrestling, and stay tuned for more.